This is episode 2082 of the Daily Meditation Podcast. I'm Mary Meckley, and I welcome you as you give yourself permission to slow down. That's not always easy to do, especially when you feel your emotions going in all different directions, such as is so common these days. And know that we're all experiencing a similar state, managing it in different ways. And so people are a little more on edge, but also you'll notice people are also a little more gentle and a little more graceful with their emotions. So as you get ready to do today's meditation technique, as you get ready to meditate, I'll share with you day 4 of our sleep formula we've been exploring this week. It's all about sleeping well. And in this series, you are discovering how sleeping well begins with managing your emotions throughout your day. You can have all the great lifestyle habits. You could go to bed early. You could have a beautiful sleep ritual that you do every night, 2 hours before you go to bed, and you have the most comfortable mattress and shades that block out any light at your windows. But if you are not able to manage your emotions throughout the day, you could be experiencing a restless sleep, or you wake up in the middle of the night feeling anxious and you can't go back to sleep, or you have trouble falling asleep because there are certain negative thoughts that you just can't lay to rest. So you've been exploring a sleep formula where we're actually using the word formula, breaking it down, and each strategy with this formula has to do with a way to manage your emotions. We started this series with F for freedom, feeling free from these difficult emotions. And O, opening up, was the next day, where you open up to what's trying to happen in your life right now. R was yesterday's episode, where you explored a breathing technique to calm your mind and body, to help you remember who you are and what you stand for, your true, authentic self. And that is often lost when we're caught up in a cycle of repetitive negative thinking. Well, in today's episode, you're going to explore M for manage. Managing your emotions. And you might think that's quite obvious, but do you really manage your emotions as you would manage your business? In a business, it's important to conserve your focus, your energy, your expenses. So lots of things happen on a regular basis in a business. A lot of things that you could be focusing on, but you know that the most important thing is your bottom line. And so you focus your resources and your energy on what matters most. So you pick your battles. If you manage your emotions in this way throughout the day, it's not as though you're ignoring certain emotions or stuffing them. It just means that you're letting those rest for a while because you just don't really have the bandwidth at this moment to address all the issues that arise each day. But you're noticing what's most important to you. And this is really valuable because you might notice that sometimes when you really reflect on your emotions, you're often surprised at the petty things you let completely dominate your focus. And then when something else happens, something major, you feel capsized because you've given so much focus and energy to something that really doesn't matter that much in the long run. It could even be something, if you really evaluate your emotions well, just like you would evaluate your monthly expenses in a business, you might evaluate your emotions and think about how maybe the way someone gave you a sideways glance, or cut you off in traffic, or cut in front of you in line, or looked you up and down and gave you a hostile look, that ultimately that really doesn't matter as much as you being fully present with your loved ones and sleeping well at night and taking care of yourself, especially your focus, your most valuable asset these days. How you're going to reflect on and make important decisions at a time where there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of uncertainty. You need your full focus on what matters most. So these other things that happen may not be worth expending your valuable energy and focus. And it can still really be tempting to lash out at someone because you're irritated because someone just lashed out at you. But when you begin to manage your most valuable resource, your focus and your emotions right now, you're going to notice that you get the most benefits. So you reap the biggest rewards. And as you begin to realize this, you begin to feel more empowered. You begin to realize that you're not going to let your focus or your emotions go there because you're focusing on this, what matters most. And part of it is taking time, which when you sit down to meditate, this is one of the benefits of meditation. When you take the time to evaluate how you're feeling, to even notice how you're feeling and what does indeed matter most, then you begin to notice results when you meditate and how you manage your emotions during stressful times. So manage your emotions like you would your business. Also, animals do this. They have to conserve their energy in order to survive out in the wild. So they're not going to chase down every animal or prey that crosses its path. I noticed this with the alligator in my backyard pond. I live in Florida and there's a big alligator, about an 8-foot alligator in the pond. And sometimes he'll be on the bank of the pond and a deer or a bobcat or some animal will walk past the alligator and it already has food it's digesting, so it doesn't have the capacity to digest any more food, so it just leaves that prey alone. So do this with your emotions. You don't have to pounce on everything. This will help you to sleep better at night. Before you go to bed, you could even evaluate, is this really worth me pouncing on? Or can I just let this go? You will find that there's a great sense of relief knowing you can let go of certain things that may be harmful or unfair, but you are conserving your energy for what matters most. So as you sit down to do your meditation technique today and you reflect on managing your emotions as you meditate, I invite you to do a mudra. A mudra is a way you position your hands that stimulates a corresponding region of your brain, similar to yoga. They're often referred to, in fact, as yoga in your hands. You can see this week's mudra on the Sip and Om Instagram or Facebook page. Likewise, you can also, if you want full half-hour guided meditations, which I know some of you are ready to go a little more deeply into your ritual, some are not, and you're all in the right place. But if you want fuller, longer guided meditations, I have a meditation app called the Sip and Om app, and you can try for 2 weeks free access to over 2,000 guided meditations. You get a sleep journal and a sleep guide for this week's series, and you can try it for 2 weeks free. So the mudra is called the Pran Mudra. It's where you tap together your thumb with your ring and your little fingers. So your index finger and your middle finger are just gently extended outward in a comfortable way, never in a forced way. And your thumb is touching together the tips of your fingers, your little and ring fingers. This Pran Mudra helps relax your mind and body so you can sleep well. You could do this mudra easily as you sleep. So you can place your hands in this mudra and place them right on your knees or your lap with your palms upward, and begin to notice where you're hanging on to stress or tension. And use your breath to inhale and encircle that area and gently release it. Begin to notice the rhythm and flow of your breath as you inhale and exhale through your nose. And bring to mind different emotions you've been experiencing recently, emotions that seem to dominate your focus and energy. And begin to manage them and reflect on what matters most. What are you focusing on in your life right now? What are the emotions that you might need to process the most? Or as other emotions, although they might be upsetting, you can let those rest for now as you focus and manage the emotions that are going to make the biggest difference to what you're trying to achieve in your life. Reflect on this as you meditate, making sure at some point to break away, to let go of your thoughts, and to allow yourself simply to be, sitting in stillness for as long as you feel comfortable doing so. You are so worth slowing down for.